Welcome everyone. Let's begin the sixth chapter, The Gold Lender of Babylon, from the book Richest Man in the Babylon. 50 pieces of gold. Never before had Rodan, the spear maker of old Babylon, carried so much gold in his leather wallet. Happily down the king highway from the palace of his most liberal majesty he strode. Cheerfully the gold clinched at the wallet as his belt swayed with each step, the sweetest music he had ever heard. 50 pieces of gold, all his. He could hardly realize his good fortune. What power in those clinching days! They should purchase anything he wanted, a grand house, land, cattle, camel, horses, chariots, whatever he might desire. What use should he make of it? This evening, as he turned into a side street towards the home of his sister, he could think of nothing he would rather possess than those some glittering, heavy pieces of gold, his to keep. He was upon an evening some day later than a perplexed Roden entered the shop of Mathon, the lender of gold and dealer in jewels and rare fabric, glancing neither to be the right nor the left at the colorful articles artfully displayed. He passed through to the living quarters at the rear. Here he found the gentle Mathon lounging upon a rug partaking of a meal served by a black slave. I would counsel with thee, for I know not what to do. Rodan stood shortly, field apart, hairy breast exposed by gaping from front of his leather jacket. Mathon, narrow, sallowed face, smiled a friendly greeting. What indiscretion hast thou done that thou shouldst seek the lender of gold? Hast been unluckily at the gaming table, or had some plump dame entangled thee? For many years have I known thee, yet never hast thou sought me to aid thee in the trouble. No, no, not such as that. I seek as gold. Instead, I carve this advice. Hear, hear, what this man doth say. No one come to the lender of gold for the advice. My ear must play me false. They listen true. Can this be so? Rodan the spear maker doth display more cunning than all the rest, for he comes to Mathon not for gold but for advice. Many men come to me for gold to pay for their frolics, but as for advice, they want it not. Yet who is more able to advise than the lender of gold to whom many men come in trouble? Thou shalt eat with me, Rodan, he continued. Thou shalt be my guest for the evening, Andal. He commanded of the black slave. Draw up a rack for my friend Rodan, the spear maker who comes for advice. He shall be my honored guest. Bring to him much food and get for him my largest cup. Choose well of the best wine, and that me he may satisfaction in the drinking. Now tell me what troubles thee. It is the king gift. The king gift? The king did make the gift, and it gift the trouble. What manners of gift? Because he was much pleased with the design I submitted to him for a new point of his spear of the royal guard, he did present me with 50 pieces of gold, and now I am much perplexed. I am beseeched. Each hour the sun doth travel across the sky by those who would share it with me. That is natural. More men want gold than have it, and would wish one who come by easily to divide. But can you not say no? Is the will not as strong as the first? To many I can say no, yet sometime it would be easier to say yes. One can refuse to share with one's sisters to whom he deeply devoted. Surely the own sister would not wish to deprive thee of enjoyed the reward. But it is for the sake of Arman, her husband, whom she wishes to see a rich merchant. She does feel that he has never had a chance, and she beseeches me to loan him his gold, that he may become a prosperous merchant and repay him from his profit. My friend, resume Mathon, I this a worthy subject that bring to discuss. Gold bringeth unto his processor responsibility and a change position among with his follow men. It bring fearless the lose it or it tricked away from him. It bring a feeling of power and ability to do good work. Likewise, it bring opportunity whereby his good intention may bring into him into difficulty. Did ever hear of the farmer of Nineveh who could understand the language of animal? I would not, for this not the kind of tale man like to tell over the bronze caster forge. I will tell it to the for those should know that to borrowing and lending there is more than the passing of gold from the hand of one to the hand of other. This farmer who could understand what the animals said to each other did linger in the farm yet each evening just to listen to their word. One evening he did hear the ox bemoaning to the ass the hardness of his lot. I do labor pulling the plough from morning until night, no matter how 87 hot the day, or how tired my legs, or how the bow does chafe my neck. Still, I work. But you are a creature of leisure. You are trapped with a colorful blanket and do nothing more than carry our master about where he wishes to go. When he goes nowhere, you do rest and eat the green grass all the day. Now the ash, in spite of his vicious heel, was a goodly fellow and sympathized with the ox. My good friend, he replied, you do work very hard, and I would help ease you lot. Therefore will I tell you how may have a day of rest. In the morning when the slave come to fetch you to the plough, lie upon the ground and bellow much that he may say you are sick and cannot work. So the ox took the advice of the ass, and the next morning the slave returned to the farmer and told him the ox was sick and could not pull the plough. Then said the farmer, hitch the ass to the plough, for the plugging must go on. And that day the ass, who had only intended to help his friend, found himself compelled to do the ox task. When night came and he was released from the plough, his heart was bitter and his leg were heavy and his neck was sore when the bow had chafed it. The farmer lingered in the backyard to listen. The ox began first. You are my good friend. Because of your wise advice, I have enjoyed a day of rest. And I retorted the ass, am I like many another simple hearted one who start to help a friend and end up doing his tasks for him? Hereafter you draw your own plough. For I did hear the master tell the slave to send for the butcher where you sick again. I wish he would, for you are a lazy fellow. Thereafter they spoke to each other no more. This ended their friendship. Canst thou tell the moral to this tale, Rawdon? This a good tale, responded Rawdon, but I see not the moral. I thought not that you would, but it is there and simple too. Just this, if you desire to help the friend, do so in a way that will not bring the friend burden upon themselves. I had not thought of that. It is a wise moral. I wish not to assume the burden of my sister's husband, but tell me, you lend too many. Do not borrow, repay. Mathan smiled the smile of one whose soul is rich with much experience. Could a loan be well made if the borrower cannot repay? Must not the lender be wise and judge carefully whether his gold can perform a useful purpose to the borrower and return to him once more, or whether it will be wasted by one unable to use it wisely and leave him without his treasure, and leave the borrower with a debt he cannot repay? I will show you the token in my token chest, and let them tell the sum of this story. Into the room he brought up a chest as long as his arm, covered with the red pig skin and ornamented with bronze design. He placed it upon the floor and squatted before it, both hand upon the lid. From each person to whom I lend, I do exact a token for my token chest, to remain there until the loan is repaid. When they repay, I give back. But if they never pay, it will always remind me of one who was not faithful to my confidence. The safest loan, my token box tell me, are to those whose possession are of more valuable than the one they desire. They own land or jewels or camel or other thing which could be sold to repay the loan. Some of the token given to me are jewels of more valuable than the loan. Other are promises that if the loan to be not repaid as agreed, they will deliver to me certain property settlement. On loans like those, I assume that my gold will be returned with the rental thereon, for the loan is based on property. In other class are those who have the capacity to earn. They are such as you, who labor or serve and are paid. They have income, and if they are honest and suffer no misfortune, I know that they also can repay the gold. I loan them and rental to which I am entitled. Such loans are based on human effort. Others are those who have neither property nor assured earning capacity. Life is hard, and there will always be some who cannot adjust themselves to this. Alas, for the loan I make them, even though they be no longer than a pence. My token box may censure me in the years to come unless they be granted by good friend of the borrower who know him honorable. Mathan released the clasps and opened the lid. Rawdon leaned forward eagerly. At the top of the chest, a bronze neck piece lay upon a scarlet cloth. Mathan picked up the piece and patted it efficiently. This shall always remain in my token chest because the owner has passed on into the great darkness. I treasure it, his token, I treasure his memory, for he was a good friend. He traded together with much success until out of the east he bought a woman to wed. Beautiful, but not like our woman, a dazzling creature. He spent his gold lavishly to gratify her desire. He came to me in 19 distress when his gold was gone. I counseled with him. I told him I would help him to ounce more master his own affair. He swore by the sign of the great bull that he would, but it was not to be. In a quarrel, she thrust a knife into the heart he dared her to pierce, and she questioned Rodan. Yes, of course, this was her. He picked up the scarlet cloth. In bitterness, remorse, she threw herself into the Euphrates. These two loans will never be repaid. The chest tell you. Rodan, then human in the throes of great emotion, are not safe. Risks for the great lenders. Here, now this is different. He reached for a ring carved of ox bone. This belonged to a farmer. I buy the rugs of his woman. The locusts came and they had no food. I helped him, and when the new crop came, he repaid me. Later he came again and told of strange goat in a distant land as described by a traveler. They had long hair so fine and soft it would weave into rug more beautiful than any ever seen in Babylon. He wanted a herd, but he had no money. So I did lend him gold to make the journey and bring back gold. Now his herd is begun. The next year I shall surprise the Lord of Babylon with the most expensive rug he had been their good fortune to buy. Soon I must return his ring. He doth instead of repaying properly. Some borrower do that. Quite done. If they borrow for purpose that bring money back to them, I find it so. But if they borrow because of the indiscretion, I want this to caution if they would ever have the gold back in the hand again. Tell me about this, requested Rodan, picking up a heavy gold bracelet instead with jewel in rare design. The woman do appeal to my good friend Mathan, I am still much younger than you, retorted Rawdon. I grant that by this time thou dost suspicious romance where it is not. The owner of this is a fat and wrinkle and doth talk so much and says so little she drive me mad. Once they had much more money and were good customer, but ill time came upon them. She has a son of whom she would make a merchant. So she came to me and borrowed gold that he might become a partner of a caravan owner who travelled with his camel battering in one city what he buys in another. This man proved a rascal, for he left the poor boy in a distant city without money and without friend, pulling out early while the youth slept. Perhaps when this youth has gone to manhood, he will repay. Until then, I get no rental for the loan, only much talk. But I do admit the jewels are worthy of the loan. इन पूरी सिचुएशन में दो, एक ज्वेलर मेकर है जो लोन देता है और एक है जिसको पैसे मिल चुके हैं वो अपनी खुद के हार्डवर्क से, जिसका नाम रॉडन है। वो अपने ज्वेलर मेकर के पास आता है जो उसको किंग से अपनी हार्डवर्क का जो पैसा मिला है उसको अपनी बहन को देना चाहता है, क्योंकि वो उसकी बहन चाहती कि उसका हस्बैंड भी रिच हो जाए, जो रिच मर्चेंट बन जाए। तो उसके बारे में वो एक गोल्ड मर्चेंट जो लेंडर होता है, पैसे देता है लोन पे, उससे एडवाइस लेने आता है। तो उससे ही पूरी स्टोरी चल रही है कि कैसे किसने किसने क्या लोन दिया था, कैसे रीपे हुआ, और जो रीपे नहीं कर पाया उसकी भी पूरी स्टोरी चल रही है इस पूरे चैप्टर में। इसमें सिर्फ यही कहानी चल रही है अभी तक की। ये अभी फर्स्ट पार्ट है जिसमें हमने हाफ बताया है, और बाकी की जो रिमेनिंग पार्ट है वो कल पार्ट सेकेंड में होगा। अगर आपको ये स्टोरी अच्छी लगी और रीडिंग अच्छी लगी तो हिट द लाइक बटन एंड थैंक यू फॉर वॉचिंग।